Okay, welcome to another garden update. This one's going to be for May and June together. This is the old farm table we had before, the one I bought off eBay for very cheap with the zinc worktop. It's 3 meters by I think 1 meter, but we just painted it with this really nice water-based paint, which I got told is better than oil paint, and it's a copper beach color. So I don't know if the light picks it up well, but it's like a really dark browny purple color. And then with the zinc worktop, we're going to use a Scotch Brite pad after a soapy wash. And I was toying with the idea of either lacquering it or putting some kind of beeswax on it, and then fixing the bits where there's little holes with like an e-putty type thing. Because when we were at Dalesford in the Cotswolds the other week, I'll put some pictures in it now, they had a really nice zinc one, and they had it, I think, lacquered. Because at the moment you can see, if you put like a coffee mug down in it or spill any water on it, it just gets stained. But then some people are saying the patina effect is nice on it and it shows it's working. So I'm not sure. But if I lacquered it, it would definitely be more sturdy. And I was toying with the idea of painting the hammock wood with the same as this. I thought that might look quite nice. But yeah, I'm not sure. In terms of the garden updates, what's happened in the last couple of months? We had a really bad heat wave. We had probably about 10 days where we had 37 or 38 degrees, and it was so hot. And even then, I can't really remember the last time it properly rained. So the grass everywhere is just yellow, and we've had to do so much watering. So we've got 6,000 litres of rainwater tanks here. Obviously got 1,000 litre over there, another 1,000 there, and others on that side. They're all been empty for ages now. This one, Violet learned how to open herself, so she just walked over to it and flips it open. But the others have luckily got safety hatches on them. In here, needs a little bit of weeding, but we've got our tomatoes starting to come out. We've got basil plants up there and some other seedlings. And then we've got some poppies here that are just wild, that have grown out the ground. Dahlias, a dead Shropshire prune tree, unfortunately, and more tomatoes back there. And then round here, I forgot the name of these plants, but they're really pretty. We were given them by my mother-in-law, these sort of purple ones. I have to put the name up over a text afterwards. But they're really nice. And probably one of the biggest hot lip salvia I've seen. It's absolutely exploded. A neighbour gave that to us, I think, and it just got so big. And we've got catnip down here. What else have been up to? Because, stupidly of me, because we left it so long, there's been almost too much to fill you in with. The apples are starting to come out now. We had a really beautiful bloom of our white roses here. Apples are starting to come out, but obviously not ready and not big enough just yet. Rhubarb we've had loads of. The ones in the middle, for some reason, they just kept bolting constantly. So we took those out, and I'll split both of these and try and fill in the middle patch over winter. Raspberries I haven't watered, but we've got a ton of raspberries off them so far. And they still need to get picked again, actually. But I think definitely if we could get some kind of irrigation system or water set up for this, we'd get a lot more than we do. Courgettes are all coming out. Runner beans aren't ready yet, but they're growing up. They're shot up in the last month. And we've got yellow courgettes here. And we've got some other bits around there. Apples again, all out. Raspberries have got pretty big. I mean, look at that. Huge ones. Gooseberries, we've harvested all of those. Probably got a couple of kilos off that bush. And that's a lot bigger than last year. And we've got some dahlias over here that haven't come out yet. This is our first strawberry bed. And we've got garlic in there too, which we haven't harvested. But the strawberries, we got loads of. In fact, Violet, because obviously she can run now, was running straight over to this, and she'd lift up the net and she'd just sit there for ages eating so many strawberries and feeding them to Rudolph. The fig tree's getting enormous this year, really big, and obviously the figs are coming out, but they're not ripe already yet. And we've got cosmos and some daisies up here. Normally we had this section as pumpkins, but they take up so much space and they never get that big. So we thought we'd just put some plants here for now. And then the green gage tree, you can see how much it drops down with all the weight of all the fruit. Last year, I think we got 100 kilos of fruit off this. As you can see here, but they aren't ready just yet. Oh, and that's the other thing I was going to say is that plum tree there on the last one. The first 2 years we had no plums off it, and the gardener who used to be for the people before said that he's never seen it producing fruit. But last year we got 1 plum on it. This year there's about 30 on there, so I don't know if it was a young tree that needed to get to a certain age before it produced fruit, or I don't know if it's because we put our other Jubilee plum tree over there and it needed a pollination partner, but I'm not sure. And then our other pear tree is doing fine just here. Hopefully we get a good year for pears. Last year, actually the first year we moved in, we had loads of pears and they were lovely, so juicy and sweet. And Rudolph ate so many of them. I think we caught him eating about 11 in one day. And because they were so sweet, he'd literally chop them down in 2 bites and swallow them. Which meant it just came out like puree off the other end, which is fun to clear up. This Christmas tree is getting so tall. It must be 9 foot or so by now. But I don't know if you remember, it used to be really down here. And the hornbeam's actually shot up. It's getting quite dense. I'm not sure whether to cut the height of it this year or just leave it. Katie's apple tree, a lot of the apples have dropped, but a few have stayed on. I've done alright, but they haven't turned too red yet. Asian pear tree's got fruit on it again, but not ready yet. Cherry trees, I don't know what this is at the top. Maybe someone can let me know in the comments. But the top of the leaves all sort of went curly, crunched up, and then all the cherries that we did have just dropped off before they got fully ripe. And then this is the Jubilee plum tree, which has got so tall. Again, this must be about 12 foot tall or so, but no fruit or anything like that on it yet. And then this is the new strong Annabelle, super white hydrangea one we put in. A bit like the one at the front, but this was only put in a few weeks ago, so I've just been watering it. The idea is to block off all this compost area and give it some more colour, so hopefully it'll be nice white big flowers there, bushy out, and then you've got all the hornbeam here. And then probably I'm undecided of maybe putting a hedge down the back. But if I do, it's going to be difficult because the people before planted those fruit trees and the Christmas tree so close to the edge. So I don't know if we'd kind of be sacrificing those. So I'm not sure the best way around that at the moment. And then round here we've got hops, which aren't out just yet. Daisies, catnip, that's our big salvia here. And we've had tons and tons of birds nesting over the last few months. We had house martins in our log store. We've had goldfinches, which we saw from teeny tiny and no feathers on them, all the way to leaving the nest for the first time, which was really nice. Loads of pigeon nests and baby pigeons. I don't know if I said about this last time, but I'm going to take down this shed. Both of them are end of days, and I've cleared up a lot of space from the other shed now, so hopefully at some point I'll be able to take this one down and free up some more space. The bakery has been on Airbnb. We did have the white table that's over there. I'll put a picture in here, and that was really nice. In fact, but yeah, we're going to put a patio area here, I think, and then have a seating area. These days, I love these, they're so nice. And then we've got some olive trees that our neighbours kindly gave us. So this is part of the wood that has been chopped up and axed up and chainsawed up. I've got a little bit more space in there, but not too much. But I've still got so much wood left. Because we took down maybe 3 or 4 trees, we've just got so much wood. So I'll show you the baker, I'll give you a little update on that. A few things we wanted to do is replace these extractor fans with nicer old air vents, and we're looking at repointing all of this and using like a doff machine to clean up all the brickwork, because there's been some bad repair jobs and cement's been used here. There's been a repair job here. At the top there's been other repairs, so I want to get it all nice and neat. And obviously you can see here where all the pointing's completely shot. We've got some quotes for that. I'll go through it with you in a bit. And then I'd like to redo this. For some reason, it looks like the hopper used to go straight down to here, and then they've re-diverted, I guess to slow it down maybe. So I'm not sure if that's still in use, that drain pipe that I've covered. But I'd like to redo that with brickwork and have that all a bit nicer. And then my father-in-law was helping us to restore this, although he got lead poisoning because he was using a heat gun to heat up this to scrape off the paint. Because it was about, I don't know, this thick of paint. You could say it was red, green, blue, all the different colours have been painted since it was in. And he's redone the putty, which takes ages to set. But as he was heating it up and scraping this off, he got really dizzy and lightheaded and got lead poisoning, basically. But he was going to take this off, but then obviously there's a bit of filler behind it, so we're going to have to neaten it up somehow. And then you can see, I don't know if you can see, it says, it's like an old-fashioned handwriting there. And it says something 85. So I don't know if that was from 1985, and it says ELR 75 or 1875. But obviously up there, it says 1890. So it's not unreasonable to think that these could be from 1875 onwards, depending on when this is built. I don't know if the bakery was built before the extension of the house was. So this is finally complete. We've had our first guests already on Airbnb. It's not made just yet. But yeah, we've got a nice oak table over here. We're going to replace the side tables at some point. Just put it back to this. And we've got a little guest book there with some feedback from people, which is nice. We've got a carbon monoxide alarm. We've got a mirror that's going to get put up on the wall here. Coat hangers. We've got a side table in there with some board games and stuff. We've got super fast Wi-Fi. The blinds are in place. Really nice TV. And then here we've got the kitchen with some complimentary milks and waters. And then we've got an espresso coffee machine, toaster, microwave. And this is a really nice splashback that we had put in. That looks really neat. And then we've got teas, coffee, sugars, kettles, and a really nice brushed bronze bin, which I like. And then obviously the sink. And then we've got cutlery and all that sort of stuff, and plates and glasses. And I'm just waiting for the next week or two for these radiators to get reinstalled. They're going to have nice sort of brushed bronze towel radiators from a company called Sender, which is a German company, which look really nice. And then the kitchen, the bathroom's all redone. Obviously looking all nice. And we've got a soft close oak toilet seat on there, brushed bronze toilet roll holders. I kept the tile off the back for now because the water stopcock's behind that and we need to turn that off to do the radiators, but this is another radiator that's getting replaced up there. So yeah, all in all, pretty happy with it. It's come out really well. I'm looking forward to having some more guests here, which would be nice. Just now we're trying to, I haven't done booking.com yet, but I'm just trying to build up the reviews for that. But yeah, I had our first guest there the other day. It seemed nice. It's always nice to sort of meet new people as well. And then come back this way. So I just had the lawnmower actually had a flat tire, so I had to use the handheld one for this. This is why it's a bit dusty. The garage application update, that's basically all going ahead. I've just got a few little hiccups with the structural engineer and the architect of some miscommunication between the two of them. And once that's back, it'll go out to the tender process. So I assume it's going to go out to tender in the next couple of weeks. And then I can find out how much it's going to cost. I can't imagine it's going to be cheap, but hey ho. And then this is the old copper beech that used to be here that the previous owners took out. Apparently one of the tallest trees in the village, which is a shame they took out, but whatever. I was thinking of when the garage groundworks get put in here, using the digger to take this tree stump out and then maybe putting a pond in here. Because as we noticed in with this recent drought and heat wave, the birds get so thirsty, and it's just good for wildlife anyway. But we often see birds out with their wings spread on the grass. So we're trying to put lots of bird baths out and water out, but we have to fill them up a few times a day. It's just not really enough. And then here we're doing an extension for the chickens because we're going to have 2 flocks instead of 1 flock. Dahlias on this bed, dahlias on that bed. We've got our first and second early potatoes that we've started harvesting here. Cucumbers in this bed. This is the timber for the doors for the kitchen over there. The chicken extension. This is full of strawberries here. And then we've got shallots and white and red onions here, which are ready to harvest. And potatoes there. Chickens all keeping themselves busy. And then we had spinach, celery, red lettuce, green lettuce, beetroots, leeks, and some really nice hanging baskets up here. And then our main crops over there. And then back here, this is where we're doing the chicken extension. You have to excuse the BMW roof box there, I had nowhere else to put it. These are huge posts, absolutely massive. I think they're 125s or 150s, and they're heavy. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm gonna have to nail these down to the ground. So the plan is to have double doors here, and then at some point put a door that goes inside to this one too, so I can share them. And then maybe either a nestera outside or a nestera inside, same as this one, but over here, and then getting another 10 or 11 birds. And then we're going to extend the roof out over this way with a new guttering system, which should give us about an extra 20% more rainwater and connect into the same water butts. And then out this bit, we're going to spike down around all this grass section, because it's a bit of a nuisance to keep mowing this, but also to have a bit of an open area for the chickens to come and peck grass and get worms and stuff like that. So we're going to put those fence post spikes in to the ground, mesh them around the side, and then use some 3x2 wood to build a roof with a mesh over the top of it. So this bit over here will be enclosed and this bit will be all open. Well, apart from the mesh roof. And then compost ready with some grass clippings in here. Some more grass that I've just done in there. Part of the compost has already been pre-mixed over here, and these are all full up now, ready to go for next year. I need to get some more black bins, and then I think Jess is picking some food for later when her parents and partners come over. And we put some more water bowls out for animals here too. Yeah, looking quite nice with all the stripes on here. Yeah, I'm just trying to be kind of quick with this because we've got the in-laws and their partners turning up in the next, well, anytime now. What's happened? Rose Garden's all coming back nicely after all of the old stables have been repointed. So this looks really good now. I don't know if you remember what it was like before. But you can also see, interestingly, the old door frame here. That was the original entrance. There would have been a pathway down here for the our house to go into the stables. Yeah, nice colours for all the roses coming out. And then I've scarified all of this lawn and that lawn, so a lot of the moss is gone. And I'll probably redo that either in autumn or in spring next year. Yeah, and then all this has been redone too, which looks really smart. The roses already bloomed. They seem to come out on the veranda between May and June. I'll put some pictures and videos of how they looked, but they're really nice. It's always nice seeing that. And here is the Annabelle's, strong Annabelle's white hydrangeas that we're going to put in. I was surprised they're flowered for the first year already, but they look great, I think. I'm looking forward to seeing how they look in the next into the next year or so. Yeah, they're pretty big so far. Hopefully they'll be nice and big and high, and they'll hide all of this ivy and stuff. And then we've had quotes for this come back. We've had quotes for restripping the ironwork where it's just been painted over and over again, and to re-lead the top of it. Underneath, for some reason, it's just chipboard. We're going to replace it with Douglas fir boards underneath, which will look really nice, and then put a nice what's it called, lead roof on top of it. Another thing we've had quotes for is up on the top. I don't know if you can see, there's 3 splodges up there. Basically, the people before used lead that was too thin, which has meant it's eroded now, and they tried patching it up with some waterproof paint, which every roofer I've spoken to says awful stuff. So we need to get new lead put into there and scaffolding all the way up. The price of it was, well, from 2 builders, was $4,500, but I think 2.5 of that was the scaffolding. I didn't realise how much scaffolding costs, but it's a lot. And then here, we're going to keep these 2 stone columns. There's one here and one there because there's nice character features, but use a DOF machine to blast it all up and repoint it so it looks really nice, and then re-render the rest of the brickwork. I think that'll be the best thing to do. And then obviously where the fascia board is up there, replace that with new painted white timber. Take out the security light because I think that's broken anyway, and then replace the guttering and the downpipe with metal pipes. So before, I had 2 quotes from builders to render the whole thing, and I think one was £20,000, one was £25,000. And these ones to come in and repoint the columns and render the rest, I believe they were around 8 to 13,000. Which is crazy to think that these 2 firms that were cheaper are notoriously expensive firms that do really, really good work, that specialise on old stately homes and nice houses. So I was really surprised that it was cheaper. I think the trouble is when you've got, I mean, it is a big house. It's not enormous, but it's a big house. And I think because we're relatively young, that when people come around to the house for the first time, they just try their luck trying to rip people off. Maybe it's that, maybe I'm being pessimistic, but I think with this house and the land we've got and any other projects we've got, once I find an electrician or a plumber or a carpenter that I like, and that's a fair price, not cheap price, but a fair price, then I'm just going to stick with them forever. So yeah, we're doing all this and replace all the pipe work with metal stuff, and then I'll probably get that chimney up there repointed whilst the scaffolding's up, because it makes sense, because it'd probably only be a few £100s to do that and change the chimney top bits for that, rather than paying for the scaffolding and doing that another time. It just makes the most sense. And then background here, I still haven't got bees. Forget there's pigeons nesting in this one and over there. I still haven't got bees because I'm trying to time the projects that I've got, because I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many things. But they will go there. This is what's left of the wood. It looks like there hasn't even been a dent made in it, but honestly, there must have been, from here, maybe 15 or 20 wheelbarrows full of chopped wood that went over to the log store. And that wheelbarrow is 135 litre barrow. So yeah, probably quite a few cubic meters of wood, and it looks like there's not even a dent in here. But this is the wood I just need to take an axe to at some point. But I don't really have the space to put it anywhere right now. And yeah, that's basically it for May and June. Like I said, really the focus of what's happened in the last couple of months has been finishing the garage building, for all the technical stuff, getting building control, structural engineers. It's been so much more expensive doing the boring paperwork. Well, it's not so boring, it's kind of interesting, but it's long and it's tedious. It's taken about 2.5 years and probably cost about 5 or 6 times more than I was initially thinking. But now everything's paid for, everything's done apart from a few little things we're waiting for, and then we're going to be able to find out how much it's going to cost. Hopefully it's going to be below what I'm expecting, because I've already buffered quite a lot more than I was thinking for it. But it's nice. Eggs. What do you say? A nest. What kind of nest? Oh yeah. Oh, and this is a new cherry tree I didn't know existed that had fruit on it. Because this cherry tree here was an ornamental one that never had any fruit on it. And then my gardener found this one the other day, which I never even saw because it was tucked away. But the fruit's been good on that one. But yeah, like I said, the last couple of months have been focused mainly on getting the paperwork and the admin stuff at the garage done, as well as sorting out the logistics and whatever, finishing off the bakery. Now the hurdle with the bakery is I've had to talk to the council, because I know I need to pay council tax or business rates. And I said to them, can you let me know which one it is and how much I need to pay, and the details, and I'll just pay that. But they're asking me now for proof of building permission, planning permission and listed building consent to turn it from the bakery into an annex, which the people before never did. Andy. So I'm having to do a load of retrospective planning permission applications and listed building consent, which shouldn't be a problem because it was done before we bought it. But it's just another thing that it's a lesson to learn, and will hopefully help out with stuff with the coach house too. I've got a good relationship with the planning officers at the local council and the conservation officers, and they've done a lot of work with us since we moved in, and they know that we're not trying to cheap on cost, we're not trying to cut corners or anything, and we are trying to restore this house and its land to its former glory and how it should historically been. We're not trying to modernise it or put things on that are cheap or tacky. We are trying to do things that are high quality stuff that's you buy something expensive and you buy it once and it lasts. So yeah, they don't have a problem with us. It's just more paperwork that needs to happen. And then, yeah, the building works that we had quoted for, we had quite a lot of quotes for different stuff. But 2 really good firms that were highly recommended that, again, like I said, that you've done a lot of work on stately homes and old National Trust houses and churches and stuff like that, or Grade 1 listed houses. That's not even including everything. One of the jobs was 52,000 and the other one was, I think, 68,000, including VAT. So now I'm just trying to choose the order of what's essential that needs to get done, like the lead valley that I showed you, that needs to get done, and the render needs to get done, and then there's a rotten window around the corner that needs to get done. So I'm going to start on the window and the lead valley, and then probably the render. Then we've got the garage groundworks, hopefully, to go in place this year, and then starting the actual watertight construction of it, and framework maybe next year. And then at the same time as all this has been going on, I've applied recently for my firearm certificate for rifles. Hopefully applying for a 308 rifle to do some deer stalking with. I'm booking my DSC1 course, and then also shotgun. So that's the next bit. And at the same time, we're also trying to juggle doing work inside the house, renovating that and doing some things that are fixing this door here. I found an old picture from the 70s where it had the original color of it with the original hardware on it, and it looks so much nicer in dark brown. So I think what I'm going to do is try and strip it back. There's a company in town where you can send it to, I think it's £100 for the door to get stripped of the paint, and I'll probably do that. Maybe the same with the one around the corner and the one around this way. But yeah, all this whilst trying to juggle business and a 15-month baby and building a new house, renovating this one and getting that on Airbnb, and then renovating this one, as well as about 100 other things I've got to do, has been challenging but rewarding. And then this is the last one that I'm going to do. Probably in the next couple of weeks, fix this up, get this done, get that sorted, and then I'll do everything else. So yeah, no rest for the wicked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'll try and do some more updates, especially of the inside of the house. I was going to do a video of the history and the character of the house and what it was like originally, and some more inside stuff, because I know I do a lot of garden videos. So I'll probably do that next. Show off my favourite features and historical bits of the house, like the old coal bunker over there. Anyway, enjoy, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know if you want to see anything more.